Hello and thanks for joining us on Social Media Buzz. I am Perpetual Fast Repeater. We start with the presidential aspirant on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, who on Tuesday said though he's of age, he would not retire from politics until he becomes president of the country. Addressing delegates and party members in Makurdi, Benue State capital, Tinubu said, and I quote, "We are of age. We can retire soon, but I am not going to retire until I become president." End of quote. He said if given the mandate, he will turn around the fortune of the country, where corruption will be tackled on all fronts and ensure peaceful coexistence of Nigerians. At this point, we take the reaction of Nigerians. We see what Nigerians are saying. The first person says that at Master4_G, at Master4_G says, as if it's his birthright. Buhari set a very bad standard for the leadership of this country. Presidency is now birthright and retirement plans for politicians where they will bring their squad to loot and go. All right, and then we have another one at Albazini saying, "Ha, Jagaban, Bikokwa." Bikokwa is Igbo and it means please. And another 16 years to your present real age, now wahala. Because likely, I doubt if you would pick the APC ticket and be boo-boo secretive candidate, so I advise her, allow God to prevail. If it's not you, take it in good faith and rest. All right, and we have another person, A_Hamid35. saying, Jagaban, leadership is from God. Continue praying and seek your ambition from Almighty. We wish you best of luck. May Allah choose the best leader for us who is going to bring an end to Niger insecurities, ASU strike, unemployment, and many others. So these are the reactions we have. I guess this other person meant good faith, not good faith.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is leadership from God?
Okay, so what's your opinion?
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, what's your opinion?
Is leadership from God?
So what's your opinion? You tell us what you think.
God won't come down to rule or preside over the nation. We have to do that ourselves. And we have the resources in terms of intellect, in terms of natural resources to be able to do that. So it's about harnessing all the resources we have to be able to have a good leadership in place. It's that simple. When he says leadership is from God, I find that...
I think he's saying the opportunity, maybe the opportunity to be that person who is chosen or something.
Again, the man hasn't insisted that he must be the president. He simply said he will keep contesting, as long as he's able to get the presidency. That's what he said in an equal term. So again, all of these rhetorics, the man has said it's his lifelong ambition. Now he's saying, yes, he's of age, but will keep on, being involved in politics until he becomes the president and all of that. Again, it's just the man's, goal or ambition. It does not necessarily mean it will happen. Sometimes he could get to, even if he doesn't win this year, under 4 years.
Before now, there were concerns about the state of his health and then his age, with some persons saying they don't, well, a lot of persons have issues with his age. They're saying that's
I think the concerns of his health are probably just
faded away or something, because we haven't seen that surfacing any longer.
Well,
let's see what you think.
What I have to say is anybody can decide to be president. Anybody can say
including Margaret.
Exactly. I want to be president someday.
2031.
I do not know when that would be. But
what I just say,
I would love to be president one day.
Yeah.
Of course, because I'm a Nigerian and I'm passionate. I want to be president of Nigeria. Well, not even vice, actually. Not even deputy governor. I would love to be president. So anybody, as long as you are a law-abiding citizen of Nigeria, even those who are not law-abiding, they contest. What I'm talking about. Anybody can decide to be president of Nigeria one day. But like he said, it doesn't necessarily have to happen. I can dream. He can dream. Well,
lifelong ambition.
Lifelong ambition. But the fact that he even said he's a kingmaker and now he wants to be king. Well, kingmakers from Igbo society, they always know where the crown. So if kingmakers are the ones who make kings, they do not even become kings. So saying you were a kingmaker, you want to be king, well, anybody can decide to be president. Must it happen? Is our decision to vote if we want him to be president or not. So all of these talks of you are disagreeing, it's his choice. He's a Nigerian.
It's all right, but well, you definitely know why a lot of people will see reason to talk, All right, moving on to the next story. Suspected gunmen have listed 9 local government areas in Anambra State for attacks soon. The development came after security operatives neutralized 4 persons enforcing sit-at-home on Tuesday in Ogidi, Demili North local government area. The local government areas penciled for attack are Ihiala, that's where I come from, Agwata, Newi South, Oka North, Oka South, Idemili North, Idemili South, Orumba South, Orumba North, and Anambra East. They dropped the message at the weekend through a driver, warning security operatives to get ready for action in Biafra land. That's a very, very sad one, and let's check out what Nigerians are saying about that. First, I have at Mazi_Wordsmith saying, seriously, enough is enough. If it means recruiting more persons into the Anambra vigilante, if it means asking the Anambra to crowdfund to support the security efforts, then it is high time this be done. 3 whole days wasted while the people sit at home in fear. This person lumped everything together. They sit at home and everything. And then we have at Ayo Oyalo was saying, they thought they were doing Buhari. We want them. Don't create and feed a monster. Such monster would always turn around and devour you, but their hatred blinded them to the grave danger inherent in their action. We have at Mora Ogo saying, we want them. They called us Efulefus. My Anambra is now under siege. I never supported that she's disciple for a second. In our house, I am standing alone. Almost all friends lost. They mock me always because I have lost my job. I've not gotten another yet. They asked always, what did PMB do for you? And then we have this at Pascal CFC saying, he fed them fake news and disinformation and preached to their emotions, and they fell for it. When they were killing policemen, they clapped for them. MNK, that's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, curated every evil happening in the South East. Okay.
Well, I'll just say that this is it's coming too far. It's getting too far. It's the audacity for me because they have been. I'm an Igbo woman, so I wouldn't say because I'm Igbo I would want to clamor for the Biafra land. I do not know what that is. Now it's my decision. Other Igbo people could decide, but then it's the audacity to come out. If Igbo land is what you really love, would you want to crumble the economy of Anambra State, which generates a lot of Onitsha market is in Anambra State? We want to kill your own Igbo people if you really love. If all of this is happening, that means if they even give you the so-called Biafra land you're looking for, that means everybody would be it will be tyranny. You'll be a tyrant. So if the Igbo people you so much love and the Igbo land you're clamoring for, you can be doing this to not. Anambra is purely Igbo state. We could have other people, but then majority of people in Anambra State, they are Igbo people. So people you love so much, you don't mind them sitting at home, killing them, children, and then what are we talking about? You're not even ready for the Biafra land, which if it can even come, I'm not even support of it. But then let's look at it. It's the audacity for me. How can you come up to, in broad daylight, saying you would attack some communities that are major local governments in Anambra State? You come up broad daylight and you claim to love your people. There is no love there. Actually.
It's shocking, really. I can remember, the governors, shortly after his inauguration, the governor's local government area, there was an attack, the PlayStation was set ablaze and what have you. It was barely a week and a half, after his inauguration that happened. Now you're having about 9 different local governments penned for attack. Again, the question is, how many local government areas are there in Anambra State?
How many?
That are penning 9 for attack. Again, it raises the question, what exactly is the cause? What's the grievance? What are you fighting for? Just about 2-3 days ago, the governor visited Nnamdi Kanu, in isolation, and he said that according to Nnamdi Kanu and his spokesman, that he doesn't support what's been happening, the killings, the sit-at-homes, and what have you. If the supposed leader is speaking against those actions, it means that he has either lost touch of his followers in terms of having them under his grip, giving them orders and commands and they follow, or someone else is calling the shots. Now that you
mentioned someone else, this Simon Ekpa, okay, go ahead.
And just to wrap up this thought, again, that's on one side. The second thing, if you are fighting for, various injustices that have been perpetrated against the Igbo people over time, why are you perpetrating the same evil
same land
to your own people? It's now Igbo's injustice to fellow Igbos. It doesn't make sense. Again, I understand the whole talks of civil war and all. We've passed that. But the relics of civil war is what we have now. But this is now Igbo against Igbo. And it doesn't make sense. But
for them, they see it as they are fighting the federal government. Because I actually followed the conversation on social media. And they're saying it's the federal government that's affected. That's the revenue.
Get education. They miss exams because they have to sit at home and what have you. You have your traders, business. They can't go to their various shops or offices because of sit at home. The economy is affected. The students' life education is affected. People can't even live and sleep,
what are you fighting
in safety.
For? You're fighting
so what
your
exactly
people.
Are you fighting for?
You're fighting your people, not even the federal government. But
really.
the federal government, they are where they are. They're not feeling.
We are the ones saying it's not the federal government. I mean, I went through their conversation, last week, And they were proudly and boldly saying that it's the federal government who is taking the heat. And that's why, if you notice the comments, some persons were saying things like they thought they were doing PMB. Because apparently, that's what, I really do not know what the connection is.
How is even the federal government, infected? Because the Southeast doesn't even generate as much revenue as other regions like your South, South, or Southwest.
Okay, I think we'll have to end it all here, basically. It's a very sad one. And talking about this issue, Simon Ekpa is one person that has really been vocal on social media. And it baffles me because at a point yesterday, someone had to say, this Simon Ekpa who's been talking and who's been, instigating the violence and all of that, he's in faraway Finland. He contested in 2017 in Finland and he won an election. In 2021, he contested again. And this is the same person who is in faraway Finland and he keeps giving orders. He was the one who spoke, who said something about the fact that they are not going to believe anything Soludo says or anything Nnamdi says until he says that, whatever he says, until he says it from his house. And he's been the same person who keeps talking about autopilot, and people are like, we really need, the federal government really needs to track this Simon Ekpa. We need to track him. We need to track the people he's working with. We really need to do something. Enough of this tap on the wrist or something. I think something decisive should be done. And unfortunately, they're using the tool of disinformation and misinformation to really change the whole story. So at the end of the day, even when you're trying to understand what's happening in the East, what you see is a lot of propaganda on social media. So at the end of the day, you're wondering what exactly is happening.
All right, so Perpetual, we do not even have the pleasure or the want of time to take all of these things, but then an eye for an eye, I would always say, will make the word go blind.
Exactly.
And the question is, if the word goes blind, who would lead who? You are blind, I am blind, we're all leading each other into a ditch, and we say we want Igbo land. What are we talking about? Let's be realistic. There's nothing like that. So that's like Yoruba land. Nigeria is Nigeria. We're going to sit in this Nigeria and make it what we want it to be. So if you keep fighting your brothers, well, when all your brothers are dead, let's see who will stand for you in the next time. Well, that's all we can take on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure this has been a robust conversation and you enjoyed it because I did. So we'll leave you with a quote from Mark Cain that says, the first step towards success is taken when you refuse to be a captive of the environment in which you find yourself. First step towards success, refuse to be a captive of the environment in which you find yourself. Yeah, relating it to this, Perpetua and Samson. A captive of what people say to you, captive of misinformation
and disinformation.
Exactly. So this is, you're just being a captive of, you're being delusional. If permit me to say this word, they're telling you a thing that may not be right, and then you're fighting your own people. That's you being a captive of that particular thought that may not even be correct.
Even impeding the lucrative businesses of your fellow Igbo people, thereby affecting their standard of living.
That's not what we fight for at all. That's not what we want here. Well, that's all we can take on iBrand Daybreak. iBrand Breakfast Show comes up after Business 24, of course, and other interesting and informative shows on iBrandTV. My name is Margaret Opera. Have a wonderful day.
And I am prepared to have fast summary pizza. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.
Do have a great day. I'm Samson Oluide.